in. We are sponsored by Jiffy Lube, and a very happy Wednesday to you. Whether you're listening on the radio on ESPN 1320 AM, maybe you're on the free Odyssey app, download that today. Or maybe you're hanging out with us on YouTube and Twitch, youtube.com/ESPN 1320, twitch.tv/ESPN 1320. Salute to everybody in the chatty house and salute to everybody watching who doesn't hang out in the chatty house. We appreciate you immensely. Jesse.
What's up?
I went to an A's game last night.
Seemed like it was lit.
It was incredible. I'm going to talk about it without crying today.
You sure?
No, but I'm pretty sure.
If you do, by the way.
I'm pretty sure. You're going to make fun of me.
I'm your friend, though.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
No doubt. If I didn't care, like, whatever, I just leave you alone.
That's a good point. Is that why you don't talk to a lot of other people in the office?
Yeah.
No, I want to start out though with an insane take I heard about Wednesdays one time.
What you got?
I promise we'll get to some A's stuff, we'll get to some Niner stuff. The Kings and their place in ESPN's NBA Future Power Rankings, we'll dive into that as well. I used to work with a guy at 95.7, guy named Nash. Salute to Nash. He's the homie. Love him. He had a take that Wednesday is the best day of the week.
I don't hate that.
Why? That's a
it's kind of just gets us closer to the weekend. It's just like, what's today? Today's Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
you just go your power ranking.
I'm
Friday,
living in Wednesday
Thursday,
right now. I'm like, this doesn't feel very best day of the weekish.
Here's why I think Wednesday is the best day of the week, or not the best day of the week. Mm-hmm. I say Thursday is, because Thursday, my logic on Thursday was Nash's logic for Wednesday. Nash said that Wednesday, it was like all downhill from here. You get over the Wednesday hump and you're cruising.
That's kind of like what my thinking with it too.
That's why I like Thursday though, because every once in a while, you'll wake up on a Thursday and be like, oh God, it's Wednesday. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's Thursday. And then tomorrow's a Friday. Come on. I have never once woken up on a Wednesday and been like, oh man, it's Tuesday. Oh, wait, no, it's Wednesday. Because even if you wake up and you think it's Tuesday and it turns out it's Wednesday, it's still like, ugh, God, I still got Thursday and Friday to get to.
Yeah.
Wednesday's a tough one. It's not as bad as Tuesday.
Tuesday's good just for the simple fact it's not Monday. Like I wake up on a Tuesday, it's like, damn, it's not Monday at least.
I feel like Tuesday, though, you're never further from the weekend. Because at least Monday, you're recapping the weekend.
Tuesday, though, we're coming off of Monday Night Football. Like, there's things to talk about.
Yeah. Wednesday stinks. Wednesday's a tough day.
Like I said, it's Wednesday right now. It feels like we're kind of just stuck here.
Speaking of day of the week takes, before we dive into sports talk, another day of the week take the homie Randy had is that nobody is worse at driving than they are on Thursdays.
I don't. All right.
And I'm telling you, ever since he brought that up, do people do bad driving things all the time? Yeah, no doubt. Like without question. It's not like everybody drives perfect and then loses their mind on Thursday. That's not it. Yeah. But you see the dumbest things. You see the highest quality of dumb move and the highest quantity of dumb move on a Thursday.
See, living in Sacramento the last probably going on nine years now on this fall. That's a 24/7 thing here.
Just bad driving. Yeah. It's every day people are bad at driving. Thursday, there's a spike though, undoubtedly.
Maybe where you're from, like I said, we're just all gas, no brakes here in Sacramento.
I have driven way more of my life in Sacramento than I have anywhere else.
I don't know. I'm just saying, bro. Like I said, it's more of a 24/7
do you commute 3.5 hours a day?
I don't.
Facts.
See, but you're spending 3 hours of that not in Sacramento.
That's not true. Elk Grove count?
No, it doesn't count. No, it's its own city.
Jesse Toppy in for James Ham today. I went to the A's game last night. It was my final one at the Oakland Coliseum. 30,402 on a Tuesday night. The atmosphere was so much fun. I kind of felt like it might be, because it's the last series, I thought it might be like a funeral. And I went in there not caring about the score. Right, the A's have won 67 games or whatever. I think they're now at 68. And I didn't care about the score. I was with my mom and dad. I was with my wife and my buddy Wade, who we've gone to so many A's games together over the years. Wade was in my wedding, one of my brothers. And he was there with his wife, so I got to see them and just kind of take it in one last time. And I went in thinking, you know what? If they lose, it's not going to matter because it's the experience. It's the people. It's the experience. And then 30,000 plus people were there. And the vibe was like, hey, this is a team in the thick of a playoff race. And then it was a great baseball game where the Rangers go up 1-0. The A's make it 2-1. The Rangers tie it. The A's go ahead. The Rangers tie it again. Back and forth, back and forth. And then bottom of the ninth, Jacob Wilson walks it off for the A's. It was party time. And I was a little bit bummed because I'm not going to be able to go to Thursday's game, the final game at the Coliseum. It's 12:37 first pitch. I'm just not going to, can't make it work. And I was originally really bummed about that. I was really, really sad that, dang, I'm not going to be there for the last game. But my plan was to go and get a credential and walk around and observe. My last game getting to be with my wife, where we went to so many games together, especially when we first started dating. We had season tickets together as well. Big step in our relationship was getting A's season tickets. Getting to go with my parents who took me to so many games growing up. And getting to see Wade and Emily, that's Wade's wife, Emily, and getting to watch with them and have a beer with them and hang out. And getting to see the A's win in the fashion they did is perfect. There's no better there's no better way that could have gone.
Yeah, I feel like yesterday, like whatever feeling you had, like as a fan and all, I don't think you could get that walking around with a credential.
No, because if I have a credential, I'm not wearing A's stuff. I'm not sitting in the stands and cheering. I'm not having a beer.
Yeah.
Like I'm ostensibly working.
Yeah, the way I look at it, I feel like for like the story you want to tell, like in the future, as far as your last A's game, like you're set.
That's it.
Like it worked out. Like there's nothing that you could have did better.
That's it. All I'm gonna have now are memories, and that's like slot that one in right there at the top. I have so many great memories at the Coliseum, but that last night is at the forefront, man. Yeah. That was really, really freaking cool.
Oh, that's fire. I was watching the game yesterday or whatever. I thought about you when they hit the walk-off.
Thanks, man.
That was fire, yeah.
Well, what was funny is the A's are up 4-3 in the... Did Jonah Heim hit the homer in the 7th or the 8th? I think it was in the 8th. And Jonah Heim, A's legend, ties the game for the Rangers with a absolute missile to left center. He hit the heck out of it. And before he had hit that, I'm looking at him going, okay, this is setting up nicely. We're either going to get a dramatic top of the ninth, Mason Miller closing the game out, or we could have a walk-off situation. So, okay, we're good. Jonah Heim hits the home run. And like I said, the score was so secondary last night to just taking it in.
Yeah.
And where was I? Jonah Heim tying the game. So he tags that homer, and I was kind of like, oh, dude, we might be walk-off city here. We might get a little walk-off. And then they get I think it was Lauren. No, it was Geloff walks to lead off the inning, goes to second on a ground out, and Jacob Wilson, 2023 first-round pick, comes through, line drive up the middle. You get a play at the plate.
I don't know what it is about the Coliseum, but there's just walk-offs live there, bro.
It's crazy.
I've been there for so many Red Sox, A's games and all that, and I've seen the A's walk off on the Red Sox about 3 or 4 times, I feel like.
Were you at the Shamanaya no-hitter?
I honestly, no, I would remember that. I was there when Redacted Chilling almost threw a no-hitter.
Oh, yeah. Shannon Stewart broke it up.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was
there for that game.
I was in high school in stats, and that was like 07? 06, 07?
Yeah, because I remember I think I had a baseball game, like shout out Bel Paso, Modesto, a little league baseball game, whatever. That night. We're like, we're gonna be late for this because he's about to throw a no-hitter.
Yeah, we're sticking around.
Yeah.
And the A's up until this year, right? In my life, or at least my cognizant life, I think Nolan Ryan threw it against him in like 93.
Yeah.
And that was the last time a person had thrown a no-hitter against him. So I'd never seen a person throw a no-hitter against the A's. And so in that moment, I was like, no, it can't happen now. But remember, this is like 2006, 2007. We didn't have iPhones where I could pull up Fubo TV and watch the game. I couldn't follow it on the ESPN.
You're just on the ESPN Game Center or whatever at school on the computer.
Not even that. I'm on my what was that phone that had the slide? Not the kickstand, not the sidekick.
Yeah, that wasn't one. That's the
No, that was
no?
the first one. But then there was another one that came out. It was smaller and it's lit and had the keyboard. Anyways, it was like on that, and I'm going to like the stepped on version of the internet that had, and I'm trying to like update the screen to see if the A's got a hit, and then Shannon Stewart hit a double, and I think did the A's score a run there and lost 2-1, or it was 1-0?
I think it was like 2-1 or 1-0. It was 1-0, I think.
Yeah, because the Shannon Stewart hitting the double like put the tying run on.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
yeah. So
shout out to the Coliseum. I had a great time last night, and I will say one thing. It was, and not to this extent. I don't think you're looking at 30,000+ a night, but when you look at the crowd last night and the intensity and the atmosphere and the environment, it was a little bit of a bummer to know that, like, man, if ownership invested in this team, this is kind of what it would be like every Tuesday night.
Yeah, Polo L in the chat threw this in there. It says the Coliseum's atmosphere is special, man. It is. I've been to non-Red Sox games like for the A's. I was there for the wild card game, set up in Mount Davis with the boys or whatever. We took the bar. Just literally going to go vibe out at Coliseum or whatever. Just go watch games. It was always a good time.
Tim McCarver, the former broadcaster for the for Fox, MLB on Fox. One time I would work as a runner for Fox when they were in town. So when you're a runner, you get there, you go to you get there 5 hours before first pitch. You walk into a TV truck and you go, okay, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do today. Like it is the lowest of the low level jobs. And I got to be in the booth that day. And when you're in the booth, you sit there, and if Joe Buck turns around and goes, can you get me a cup of tea? You go get him a cup of tea. And that's like the job.
Yeah.
So you get to sit there and watch baseball and listen to Tim McCarver and Joe Buck talk about baseball. It's great. And it was something Tim McCarver said before the game, and this speaks to the Coliseum atmosphere. And I think this goes for a place like Wrigley Field too. I think this goes for a place like Fenway, notably the older ballparks, where he said, Tim McCarver said, this reminds me of the places that I played in when I was playing, because there's no bells and whistles. There's no all the crazy advertising. There's the signage on the walls, and there's seats in a baseball field.
Yeah.
And that changed a little bit over the years. They put the treehouse up there, which was a really cool little addition, and they put some different stuff to try and attract families and whatnot. But that's why it was just Candlestick Park had the same deal.
Yeah, it's like the Coliseum never lost its culture.
No, never. And that's one of the things that's so cool about it, is you get in there and it's like, all right, it's baseball time.
Yeah.
Everybody here is here for the baseball game. Nobody's here for the views. Nobody's here for the slide.
Yeah.
Nobody's here for what else do we got? We had the slide in Milwaukee. I'm trying to think of other like bells and whistles around ballparks. There's not like a big bar in center field that people are hanging out at.
There's no pool in left field.
There's no pool. It's just baseball and vibes. So shout out to the Coliseum. One last special memory. That was a ton of fun. The A's and Rangers play tonight at 6:40, and then they play again on Thursday at 12:37. The A's will be in Seattle to finish up their 2024 season before beginning next year, I believe also against Seattle. Cleveland? They play Cleveland or Seattle? Anyways, they open the 2025 season at Sutter Health Park. And my ask for Sacramento, if you happen to listen to the Eagle or 98 Rock, you will have heard my sports update say this morning. My plea to Sacramento is that they bring that energy every single night. If they're not going to be in Oakland, I would love to see this really exciting young team be fully supported here. Not because Aaron Judge is in town, not because I'm not going to say the Giants, because I know there's so many Giants fans here, but not because Aaron Judge is in town, not because Shohei Ohtani's in town. Go support the A's. I really, really hope that they.
Lawrence Butler's really good, by the way.
Really good player. There's JJ Bleday is good, and Mason Miller's awesome, and Brent Rooker was one of the best hitters in baseball this year.
It was him, Aaron Judge, and I think Shohei, as far as 35 home runs and like 100 RBIs or something like that.
Yeah, Rooker. Yeah. So really exciting team. If you're not a big baseball fan, get out there and support this team. It's going to be a cool atmosphere at Sutter Health Park, and I hope that this young group gets to grow in an environment like that. It'd be really awesome. So, salute to the Oakland A's, salute to the Oakland Coliseum. Yeah, all right. Jesse Toppy in for James Ham today. We're the Insiders. Well, the Producers, a spinoff of the Insiders.
That's right.
Sponsored by Jiffy Lube. I'm kind of bummed that baseball has taken such a backseat. MLB specifically has taken such a backseat to the NFL and the NBA. Because what's happening in the NL wildcard race right now is insane.
No, you explained it to me before the show, and I was like, "Yeah, that does sound fire."
It's so
maybe someone should tell somebody about this.
So you have the Braves, a game back of the Braves are not currently in the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
They are a game back of the Mets for the second wild card spot. The Padres clinched the first wild card spot last night. We'll talk about that in a second. So the Braves, a game back of the Mets. The Braves now a half game back of the Diamondbacks for the final wild card spot. The Braves and Mets played last night and have 2 more games against each other. Can you imagine if the Hawks were a game back of the Knicks for a playoff spot and they were playing back-to-back games against each other?
It would be ESPN 24/7 news.
We would spend so much time talking about it. Oh, and then let's see, the Giants and so the Warriors and the Suns are playing, and the Hawks are also kind of chasing the Suns. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is great sports theater. The Braves beat the Mets last night. So the Braves now just a half game back of the Diamondbacks, who got throttled by the Giants. The Giants hit 5 homers, 6 homers.
Giants Twitter is low-key one of my favorites too. Because now, like, all of a sudden now you guys are winning ball games now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
This team good?
Yeah.
They just got back to 500.
I always get a little kid reading those tweets.
Won 5 in a row to get back to 500.
Yeah.
So yeah, a great playoff race happening in the National League. Kind of fun in the American League, but not nearly the drama that the National League had. Speaking of which, the San Diego Padres needed a win last night against the Dodgers to clinch a playoff spot. They were ahead 4-1 going into the bottom of the 9th in LA. LA gets 3 consecutive singles to start off the 9th inning. That makes it 4-2. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Miguel Rojas at the plate, Shohei Ohtani on deck. The Padres trying to clinch a playoff spot, and here's how the game ended. Runners on first and second, nobody out. 0-1 count to Miguel Rojas.
Rojas on the ground at third. Machado touches third, fires to second. Out there, out at first. Oh my goodness! It's a triple play. It ends the ball game. The San Diego Padres have clinched their spot in the postseason after a magical 2024 campaign. Will this finally be the year for the faithful?
Incredible.
Shout out Don Orsillo, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Red Sox great.
A walk-off triple play?
Yeah,
to clinch a playoff spot?
Miguel Rojas, I got issues with you, pal. No, I got issues with you, pal. Shohei's on deck. That can't happen.
The trailer.
Yes, exactly. It's not like the third baseman's like, oh, I caught it right here. Let me go third. No, he had to go back. He had to go back to third, hit the bag, go to second, go to first. And they threw you out still with time to spare.
That's it.
Miguel, get going.
You got to move.
Yes, like literally.
He is like 36. You're right. That's the one thing. That's the one thing you can't.
Miguel Rojas needs to do sprints pregame every day for the rest of his career.
According to Ramsey, the third game-ending triple play in the last 30 years. I know the last one was 2021. The A's did it. The Yankees did it to the A's in New York. Man,
that's tough though.
That's just great theater.
That's great. That's great for the Padres though. Yeah.
That's. I don't even have a good basketball comp for that. That's like hitting a full court buzzer beater to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah. That's
I guess
the right comp right there.
Like a thing that happens maybe sometimes, but definitely not all the time.
Yeah. I guess it'd be that.
Clinch the playoff berth. Also, San Diego now only 2 back of the Dodgers for the NL West lead.
Dodgers, what's going on? Don't do it again this year.
And that's why I'm so bummed that MLB has fallen so far behind the NBA and the NFL. Because at least nationally.
Yeah.
In San Diego, it has not. Trust me. But nationally, that just if the equivalent of that happened in the NBA or the NFL, it would have.
The MLB used to be up there too. but I feel like slowly but surely they could just kind of, no, we're just going to make the wrong decision here and there and all that. I feel like now things are looking a little bit better, but
yeah,
still
we
gotta
could
build back up.
do a 6-hour show on the missteps that MLB and baseball as a sport have kind of made over the years. But yeah. That's what's going on. If you don't lock into baseball, lock in now.
Yeah.
Braves, Mets, super exciting. Giants, Diamondbacks. Giants trying to play spoiler. It's good times. Good times heading into the postseason.
I know baseball.
Love baseball. All that said,
John Henry, spend money, damn it.
All that being said, let's shift gears and talk about the NFL.
Sorry, I had to get that out there.
That's fine.
If you're out there, John Henry, listen. Start spending money. Stop being so cheap.
Red Sox owner.
Yes, Red Sox owner.
You think he listens?
No, but somebody clip this. Send this to LeBron's people because he works with them. Have his people send it to John Henry. Let him know Jess wants you to spend money.
Love it.
Let me go.
That's it?
That's it.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
I mean, we're going to talk more about
that. Remember that one time? That one time you were talking about how much of a tortured sports fan you are?
All right,
and then you included the Red Sox, they haven't won 3 titles in the last 15 years.
I caught myself after that. I was like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's not that bad over there. All of my bad sports memories or whatever, honestly, just tied to the Miami Dolphins. Yeah. But I think the toughest part is that's the one. That's the one that means the most to me.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I'm a Dolphins fan first. Like I've been watching the Dolphins games since, like, with my dad since I can remember and stuff like that. Like now with my brother and our family and stuff.
Are we at hot seat time with Mike McDaniel?
Not yet.
Okay.
He's got issues and all that. He's got adjustments to make, but not hot seat yet.
Okay.
But there's issues.
Okay. Very good. Speaking of issues, the San Francisco 49ers have some pretty major ones. I think the 49ers they're gonna need to do one of two things, and it's got to be pretty drastic. One, they have to make a trade. They have to add some kind of pass rush help, especially now that Javon Hargrave is out for the year. Pass rush was always going to be an issue. We talked about this yesterday. Pass rush is always going to be an issue for this team, and I thought they were going to have to trade for a defensive end at some point, like they did last year, twice. But now that Javon Hargrave's out, and now you're not getting any push off the edge, and you're going to have a tougher time getting any kind of pass rush up the middle, it's only going to make life harder for Nick Bosa as teams devote more resources to him. Mm-hmm. They either have to make a big splash trade on the defensive line, or, and this is where Brandon Staley, they hire him as an assistant head coach for his ideas. He views defense differently than Kyle Shanahan and Nick Sorensen, and it gets a different perspective in the building. He comes from the Vic Fangio 3-4 defense instead of the 4-3 kind of Pete Carroll defense that Kyle Shanahan has played.
Yeah.
3-4, if you're unfamiliar, 3 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers.
You played Madden.
4-3 is the other way around. Right. You played Madden. So I wouldn't be shocked if we see the 49ers make a pretty dramatic switch like that at some point, or start experimenting with it during games to try and mitigate some of their injuries up front and some of their issues rushing the passer. It allows Leonard Floyd to stand up as a 3-4 edge rusher instead of putting his hand in the dirt and rushing as a 4-3 edge rusher, which is a little different technique. So I think one of those two things is going to happen, because for the crux of it is, if the Niners are going to contend this year, they need to make some kind of major change defensively.
So my first question is, how likely is it that they do switch something up on the defense? Because I've heard over the years, like, Kyle Shanahan likes the defense to be run a certain way or whatever. He gets guys in there that'll run it a certain way and all that.
Yeah.
How likely do you think it is that would even happen?
Likelier by the day, especially with the Hargrave injury.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think they have the horses to run the defense he wants to run. And maybe he is so stubborn in that he's going, nope, this is what we're doing. I don't care that we're 29th or 30th in the league in yards per play allowed. I don't care that we can't get a stop against Matthew Stafford without Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson. I don't care that Matthew Stafford and a bunch of 3rd and 4th receivers cooked us. Doesn't matter. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. And the second question is, all right, then who's the Chase Young type that they traded for last year before that?
That was last year, yeah. And Randy Gregory last year too. Yeah. I'm not totally sure yet. We've got that'll depend a lot on how things shake out for certain teams here over the next 2-3 games. Because if you're an 0-3 team right now, even if you're not very good, you can't blow that thing up now. You have 15 weeks to go.
Yeah.
You can't go, oh, hey, we're the Jags, we're 0-3. All right, pull the plug, blow it all up. Like, you can't. You got to give yourself 5-6 weeks before you start doing that.
Is it even possible you give a call? Shout out, you're down in the chat. You give a call to the New York Jets and be like, "Hey, what's going on with Hassan Reddick? You want this 4th-round pick for him and just cut your losses there?"
Maybe, but then you got to pay him. And that's a whole other.
I'm thinking maybe you trade for Hassan Reddick or whatever, and you go work something where it's like, all right, you get this money for this year, and you go about your business getting your contract with someone else next year.
Just like a 1 year.
Yeah, a rental, basically.
Yeah, if he would agree to it, if you can get on the phone with his people and say, hey, will you play for this amount of money on a 1 year deal? We'll put you across from Nick Bosa. You'll be on the field with Leonard Floyd, and maybe I think that's something that you'd call about. But Hassan Reddick hasn't played football in however long. He didn't participate in camp.
Yeah, he'd be an improvement though. No,
maybe, but we're sitting here going, man, Trent Williams really struggling because he wasn't in camp. Brandon Ryuk's really struggling because he wasn't in camp.
Yeah.
Now you're going into week 4, and by then maybe week 5 or 6, and he hasn't played any football.
I wonder how much of this is what the Niners are going to be then this year.
That's kind of where I'm at.
You're dealing with injuries. You have issues on the defensive line. You have issues on defense. I think that is a whole where it's just, oh my gosh, they're horrible. But then you have issues in different spots.
Yes.
And then, like you said, the guys are trying to rework themselves back and all that. It's just kind of like almost like this might be they have to work through it, and hopefully they come out of it better.
It is a steep uphill climb for sure, and that's why I think something dramatic has to change. We'll keep talking about that. We'll talk about which teams can win the Super Bowl, and the Kings. Where did they land in ESPN's future power rankings? We'll talk about that as well. Jesse Tapia is in for James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube here on ESPN 1320 and Sacramento Sports Leader. And clear. Bum, 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 bum. I haven't gotten into specifics on available defensive ends and tackles and their contracts and stuff yet. I'm going to do that this week.
David, if we get that raise, we're going to Sizzler on the company. Is Sizzler still a thing?
Sure.
Waitress one time tried telling my mom that she couldn't share with my dad at Sizzler. It was not a good idea. I saw that Johnny G had the custom menu and everything. So we got a special guest for Chat House after party too. I saw.
What?
Yeah. I have no clue who it is.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. That's what I was doing. Taking all of it. Y'all do what you got to do, man. Is it Mitch in New Jersey? God, I hope it's Mitch.
Oh, you guys got to do that one time.
We need. I
didn't even think about that.
I will facilitate that if people want. What do you? I'm trying to. I'm so happy to be here on the ESPN 1320 birthday party. Emmanuel.
That'd be hilarious. We call him Emmanuel.
Who else is on there? Katrina, Emmanuel, Kathy.
He's butchering Kyron's name too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
Jesse Tapia in for James Ham, hanging out with you until noon today. And we'll hand it off to D'Lo and Casey, and they will take you up to 4 o'clock. Talking some 49ers, I want to just kind of finish up that conversation because you hit the nail on the head for me. The reason that I go to, hey, they're going to need to change something up defensively, like schematically. And I'm not talking, play the strong safety in the box more often, or vice versa, or play less press man, or play more zone. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like fundamentally changing how their defense lines up, like their base defense, where maybe it's not a complete midseason switch to a 3-4 from a 4-3, but maybe it's sprinkling that in a few times per game. Maybe it's and what this is about, and we talked about this with Kyle Shanahan a little bit yesterday with what he said about Jacob Cowing, basically saying that Jacob Cowing isn't ready to play in the offense. It's like, then that's up to you as a coach to figure out how to adjust your offense to allow him to get involved.
Yeah.
Put your players in a position to succeed.
It's no different than, I guess, closing down the playbook a bit for the rookie quarterback or something like that.
Right. It's exactly like that. And I think if defensively, if you don't have the horses to run the defense you want to run, then you're going to have to change something.
Yeah.
Because if they keep running out the way they are, there's nothing that's happening right now that I'm looking at and going, oh, well, that'll obviously get better. I think Devondre Campbell is starting linebacker next to Fred Warner. I think they can remove him and put in a more athletic player. And Kyle Shanahan talked about that. D. Winters, he's one of the backup linebackers, is going to start getting rotated in. Okay, that's nice. That doesn't fix your pass rush. That doesn't fix your issue with your third corner. And so if you're going to be a defense that is so predicated on getting after the quarterback, and you're not getting after the quarterback currently, you've got to do something different. And yeah, you can make a trade. That's nice. But I don't think there's going to be a trade out there that we go, oh, okay, that's the missing piece. Plug that player into this spot and everything's going to be better.
It might be unfair, but I'm just going to ask, how much of it is on Nick Bosa to get the defensive line going?
Some of it,
the
for
elite
sure.
pass rusher that he's paid to be and all that.
Yeah, some of it for sure. But it can't just be him. You can't really realistically expect a player to go get 2 sacks a game.
Yeah.
The NFL record is a little bit over a sack a game, right? So, okay, that's great. I would agree that he needs to get the quarterback on the ground. Like, it was cool. He spent a lot of time in the backfield against the Rams. He should. Their offensive line's not very good. But at some point,
and even
you
maybe
got to get to the quarterback. You have to hit the quarterback.
And even maybe so where he's just opening things up for other guys on the offensive line where he's just getting there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. And definitely
because I get what you're saying too about like having to maybe trade or switch to the defensive line, but like the defense. But like I said, I don't know how likely that is. And
if
we're just grasping for straws at this point.
If they're not, then yeah, you need more from Leonard Floyd, the defensive end opposite Nick Bosa, and you need more from Nick Bosa.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's what it's going to be.
If those two things happen, then okay, you feel all right about it. But what have you seen from Nick Bosa in either of the last 2 years that looks like he's going to be that dude?
His contract, I guess.
Sure, yeah, he got paid like it. He was a defensive player of the year. If he's a defensive player of the year candidate again, then yeah, I think they're going to be okay. And that's what Damian said yesterday during his show and during the handoff. As long as Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are on the field, I think they can be fine defensively. And I totally agree with that as long as Nick Bosa looks like a DPOY. If Nick Bosa looks like, he's a top 10 edge rusher, like that's not going to do it, man. It's got to be in that conversation with Myles Garrett, with Micah Parsons, with TJ Watt, with Max Crosby. You got to be in the conversation with those guys. And right now, it's just not. And that's okay through 3 weeks. That's okay. But you got to figure it out, man. And that's kind of where this sits. And you said it feels like this is just kind of what they're going to be this year. And unless they do something dramatic, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, Niners have $56+ million in cap space.
Maybe spend it.
I want to do something with you that aligns a little bit with something we did yesterday on trying to pick out the top 5 teams, right? Like who are the 5 best teams in the NFL right now? I think Minnesota's got to be up there. Buffalo's definitely up there right now. But then it feels like everybody else is kind of, the Chiefs are up there too. But if the Chiefs didn't have their track record, I don't think people would buy into the Chiefs the way that they do.
Yeah.
They've just not looked great this year.
That's like the same thing as last year, though, no?
Absolutely. And that's why I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
So within the scope of this year, though, the Chiefs haven't been, they're a +13 in point differential. They're 3-0. Which is not the Chiefs we're used to seeing, but still, like you said, this is just who they are. You're still picking the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl as of week 3.
Yeah.
At least I am.
I wonder how much of like the Chiefs that we see now is just a different team. Like we're just so stuck on like what we used to do with Tyreek and those guys at their best. But now it's just their team with Patrick Mahomes, one of the best defenses in the league. I think you can call them top 10 at least or whatever. Solid run game for the most part. And you got solid playmakers like in your wide receiver corps and all that. Travis Kelce is still decent. I don't want to disrespect him. He's still really good and all that. But it's a different style of football for the Chiefs now. And then you have Patrick Mahomes. So that's just the cherry on top. That's what's going to take you over the top there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what will Patrick Mahomes ever throw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns again? Like, probably not. That's really hard to do.
Maybe we'll turn it around. Maybe he will, but it's just not with this iteration of this team. It's just they play a different brand of football now.
The Travis Kelce element of this is the kind of tipping point for me. Rashee Rice looks really good. Xavier Worthy clearly still getting his sea legs in the NFL. Hollywood Brown, it sounds like he's going to be out for the year. But I can't tell if Travis Kelce is just 35, and I think he's 35 in 2 weeks or whatever, but is he just 35 and playing like a 35-year-old and this is what he is now? Or is he looking at the calendar and going, this is still basically preseason for me. Call me in late December.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we start seeing those 10-catch, 120-yard games from him.
I think that's a decent possibility, I think. Because right now, like you said, you have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. You have weapons now.
Let's play a game. I want to divide the NFL into 3 tiers here. I want to go definite contenders. I want to go fringe contenders, and good luck in 2025. We'll see you next year. Who are the definite contenders for you right now?
Kansas City Chiefs.
KC's in there. I'm with you.
The Buffalo Bills.
The Bills are in there. I'm with you.
The Houston Texans.
Houston's a definite contender for you?
I'm betting on them earlier than others, I think, this season.
You have 3 teams. You have 3 teams in the AFC right now.
And then the NFC.
That's it out of the AFC?
We're talking Super Bowl contenders?
Yeah, no Pittsburgh?
Nah.
Okay, no Baltimore?
Nah.
Okay. That's all I got.
And I think moving to the NFC.
Okay.
You still... unless we're just leaving this blank, you still throw the 49ers in there.
Okay, I'm going to put them off to the side right now. We'll talk about it.
Okay. Throw Detroit in there.
Detroit's in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Now we're going off the top of my head.
You've got Minnesota at 3-0.
Not yet.
Green Bay?
Nope. I don't buy it yet.
Anybody in the NFC South?
Nope.
No.
Philly's fringe for me. I think it's just
Philly's
the only ones I
fringe?
can
I'm
really,
with
I
you
think
on
I
Philly.
believe in right now are the Niners and the Lions.
I think I'm gonna agree with you that I agree with you the Lions are there. I'm gonna agree with you on San Francisco with this caveat. If Christian McCaffrey is back by the bye week and Deebo Samuel comes back and is healthy, and George Kittle, who's supposed to be back in practice today, is healthy, I think the Niners are good enough to still be contenders.
Yeah.
Because at that point, and this is where some of this gets warped a little bit, because right now their injury situation is so bleak, it's so dire that I'm sitting here going, maybe you have to switch up your defensive scheme entirely midseason. Maybe you need to make a massive splash trade to inject some life into your defense. But realistically, if they have all those guys on offense, if they are fully healthy offensively, your defense needs to be what, top 16?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's fair.
Can you get to, and that's where
you got CMC, you're averaging around 30, I'm sure, and all that. Like, you're still a high-powered offense.
Yeah, I would agree with you, but that we've seen that not matter before when your defense can't get a stop.
Uh-huh.
And right now, I talk about these dramatic changes because I'm looking at it through the lens of they have nobody on offense. Relative.
Yeah.
They have the offense is okay, but it's not this group that you're going, hey, bet on them 28 plus. It's like it's just gonna be harder to do. So the bar that their defense has to clear is now higher, and they are so far from clearing that bar as of right now.
Yeah.
But their offense starts to get healthy. It starts to get more intact where they're pencil them in 28, 30 points a game. Now all of a sudden that bar for where their defense needs to be drops significantly. Now maybe you don't need to change your scheme entirely. Now maybe the splash you're going to make is maybe two little smaller moves that just add some depth to your pass rush and just make you a little bit better in run defense where you're okay. Now you're top half. Now your defense is good enough that on 3rd and 8 you can get off the field. Whereas right now it's not.
Yeah, someone in the chat threw this in there. I don't remember who it was, but are you concerned with the 49ers right now, or are you panicking with the 49ers right
now? It's in my nature to panic.
No, yeah, I saw the show title the other day on YouTube. Yeah.
No,
like, are we still like we're good and all? Like, the 49ers are good and all that, or is this
time.
kind of like they got things to fix?
I listened to a political podcast, not to brag, where I'm really, really worldly and cultured.
Look at Kyle, he's intellectual.
I went to college, no big deal. Stingers up, baby. I listened to this political podcast where one of the guys says, worry about everything, panic about nothing. And that's where I'm at with the 49ers. I'm worrying about everything right now because you can see with how things sit in week 3, you can look at it and go, I can see the wheels falling off. That was kind of the stance I took yesterday. Like, man, based on everything we know right now, like, this isn't getting better anytime soon. But you can also see the side I just laid out. Everybody's healthy by week 9. Everybody's good to go. Christian McCaffrey isn't as impactful, but hey, Jordan Mason's in there now, so Christian McCaffrey doesn't have to do as much, especially in like short yardage situations. He can come in, he can be that pass catcher, he can offer some explosive run plays that Jordan Mason is frankly missing right now. And now their defense just needs to be a little bit better instead of like, yo, they need a complete 180.
Yeah.
That's on the table too. So I'm definitely concerned, and I think you'd be crazy not to be. But I'm also not panic button, which is like start trading people. It's time to look toward the draft. Is anybody on the hot seat? Like it's not there right now.
No. I got you.
And
just
also
checking the temperature.
I'm not sure how good the NFC West is still.
Well, I'm not sure how good the NFC is, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I look at the Niners right now, like I can make the argument they could be the Lions in the playoffs with this current team or whoever
with
else.
This current team.
Yes.
Ooh.
Who else?
I
Looks
don't. It's not.
all right. So check this out.
You
The
gotta be able
Vikings
to
are
get a stop. Their defense is really bad.
Yeah, it is. But and I like what the Vikings are doing, and maybe that's the team where it's like I don't know, but I need to see it more. I need to believe in Sam Darnold a little bit more. I like Kevin O'Connell. I like the defense. Brian Flores is great on defense and all that. But I just need to see it a little bit more from them before I'm like, okay, yeah, they can get the Niners.
I
now.
don't. I'm all the way in on Minnesota, dude. You guys did an exercise on D'Lo and KC. You do your 4 in, 4 out for the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And I think if you're looking at it through that lens of like, hey, there's going to be some team every year. There's going to be 1 or 2 teams that we didn't think would be very good who were just awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the Saints yet. I'm not buying Tampa Bay yet. I'm definitely not buying Atlanta. I'm not buying into Washington just yet, although Jaden Daniels could turn that around really quickly. But Minnesota, I don't think they're doing anything over their heads right now. I think Minnesota has maximized its roster where Brian Flores' scheme is now, hey, he's going to blitz you like crazy, but also when he doesn't blitz, when he's showing blitz and your quarterback's looking and going, okay, we got all this accounted for, and then, they're dropping 7 or 8 into coverage. They still have the pass rushers to get after your quarterback.
Yeah.
And I just think that's how it's going to be all year.
So you're buying what Sam Darnold's doing right now?
I'm buying what their offense is doing.
Okay.
I think Kevin O'Connell is top 5. Said that on this program with you, actually.
It's facts.
I think he's a top 5 coach. And I think once they have a full complement of weapons, there's zero reason that Sam Darnold can't Jimmy Garoppolo this thing. No, zero reason.
Yeah, I texted you. I think it was on Sunday. I think it was we're watching them talking about the games and all that. And I texted you. I think Sam Darnold at his best. I know people don't really think highly of this guy, but I think at his best can be like a really good Derek Carr.
Yeah,
I think that could win him a playoff game. I think just the best version of Derek Carr, not the fumble at the end zone type guy or whatever.
Sure,
not
the end of
final
game
drive.
stuff.
Yeah,
you mean just from a productivity?
Just the talent standpoint. Like, can play football. Like, just
athletically, arm strength. Yeah, I think so. And I think Sam Darnold's in an offense where, like, look, there were smart football people, who were picking Sam Darnold to win the MVP last year. He wasn't even the starter. The sports books, that was like their highest leveraged bet. If Sam Darnold had won the MVP, sportsbooks everywhere would have lost their asses because so many people bet money on Sam Darnold because it was get him into a system with good weapons and just maximize his talent.
Yeah.
Don't ask him to do too much. Don't ask him to do anything crazy. Don't ask him to put a team on his back. Tell him, have him distribute, have him use his arm strength, fit some throws in tight windows, have him use his athleticism to escape and extend a couple of plays. And that's basically what he's doing right now. Nothing that he has to do in Minnesota is different than what he would have had to do had he been the starter in San Francisco. So I'm fully bought in on Minnesota. And if you're talking to me about definite contenders, Minnesota is absolutely, for me, a definite contender in the NFC.
You're bolder than I, Kyle. You're bolder than I. I'm not ready yet. I don't know. Maybe
if they played Detroit right now, are you picking Detroit? You think Jared Goff's going to go beat Brian Flores?
Don't do this to me, dude, because honestly, I don't even want to make a decision.
Let's talk it out.
I don't like being on the stand here.
No, I'm getting. No, we're gonna walk through this together. The other contenders in the NFC are Detroit and San Francisco. We've already seen them beat San Francisco.
Through it. I think I would take the Vikings. I think. Am I bought in?
I think you're bought in.
I don't.
Come on.
Nah.
Say it.
Nah.
Say it.
I don't want to say they're like we're talking. The Minnesota Vikings can win a Super Bowl this season with Sam Darnold as their quarterback. Just as with what they got, they can win a Super Bowl this season. You believe that?
Why not?
I feel like it's too early. I feel like we just need to give them maybe week 5.
What's the line? Week 5?
If they're
they have to be undefeated.
See, I'm with Soren. Like, I like what I see, but it's been 3 weeks. I think we got to chill a little bit.
Okay. No, that's
like
fine.
Justin Jefferson is great. He's
that's fine.
The best receiver in the league and all that. Aaron Jones, I think, is playing a lot better than I think people wrote him off a lot earlier than expected. He's playing really good and all that. Defense is great, but it's just
Jordan Addison hasn't been playing. TJ Hawkinson's not playing.
Naylor looks like a good receiver for them.
Yep.
But it's been 3 weeks. Are we sure? We're sure.
I feel really good about it. Here's they have Green Bay. They're at Green Bay next week.
Okay, I think Green Bay can. I think that's one Green Bay can get. I wouldn't be surprised if I gotta check the deal in KC pick them. I'm pretty sure I went with Green Bay.
Okay. Then they get the Jets. That's a London game. That's a 6:30 a.m. Pacific time.
Things
kick.
get a little funky there. You're already 3-2, and we already and we were just throwing them in the Super Bowl. Now you're 3-2.
Then they get the bye week. Then they're home Lions
Could be 3-3.
at the Rams.
Hey, maybe Sam Darnold's like, hey, I'm saying, like, you can see you see what I'm saying.
Going 3-14.
Let them play. Ask me again. Who was that last team?
Detroit.
Maybe that Detroit game. Let's see where they're at. Like let them.
So
let
week
them play,
7,
let them
week
play
7,
ball.
coming off the bye.
Yeah,
Against Detroit. That's when you're.
I think
you're
we'll know
either
for
fully
sure.
in
Yeah,
or fully out.
yeah,
on the
we'll know
Vikings.
for sure. I know I'm
Okay.
kind of waiting or whatever. Like you're already jumping on the bandwagon and all that.
I'm already in.
Yeah, but
I'm already in.
like I
Mark them
said,
down, coach.
you could lose to the Packers and Green Bay, and then like I said, the London games are always
right.
weird, and then you're 3-2. It's like, oh, here we are.
Based on what you know right now,
Yes.
I tell you, one of the Vikings or the 49ers represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. Who are you
Yes.
picking?
The 49ers, easy. No second thought about it.
Okay.
Quarterback's better. Wide receivers are, I don't want to say better. Ooh. Don't make me talk logically about it. There's nothing logical about it. No, because it's just not. The Niners have been there and all that.
Can we, real quick, while we're talking about 49ers receivers, can we ease up on Brandon Ayuk a little?
I've been nice to him. It's been you guys.
Not me, guys.
You
got to make that look. Was I off base? I'm man enough. I'll admit when I was wrong. Was I off base to call him out for the quote unquote second drop against the Rams? Like, yeah, the end zone view in the all 22. I think Rich Madrid, who tweets about Niners scheme stuff all the time, posted the all 22, and Purdy was on the run. He threw it. It was behind him. It hit the defender before it got to Ayuk, and he didn't. And the defender had a hand up there. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's one I might have liked to see him catch, but it would have been a really, really nice grab. Did he have the drop in the end zone in week 1? Like, yeah, for sure. But the last 2 weeks, he's been cooking. Like, he's there. The ball's just not getting to him. So I'm not in the drag Brandon Ayuk camp because I don't think that Brandon Ayuk is doing anything.
It's all just how it looks.
Yeah. If he was getting 12 targets a game, I promise he'd be more productive.
Yeah.
The targets just, I guess he had 10 last game. One of them was like a deep shot. He had the one drop. There was the other one I just mentioned that bounced off the defender.
You're right.
He's up on Brandon Ayuk, man.
You're right, but that's not the world we live in.
No, it's definitely not.
Like it's he's open and all that, but it's just, hey, Brandon, you get $30 million. I'm not talking about how I see it, how people I think see it. You
No,
get
it's
$30 million. It's just 100 yards, touchdown. Let's go.
He could be open on. He could make every defender fall down every time he ran a route.
Mhm.
And if you're going 2 catches for 28 yards because the quarterback's not throwing it to you, the blame's going to go on the wide receiver.
Yep.
I totally get it. I'm just trying to get some
being a
people
good guy.
to
No, I got
ease up off the guy's back.
Yeah.
That's all.
Be nice to Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, just not. You don't even have to be nice to him. Fan how you want to fan. Yell at who you want to yell at. Be mad at. Hate who you want to hate. I'm not. Do your thing. Just saying. I don't know what else we want him to do. Can he hang on to the ball? Like, yeah, definitely. But I'm not gonna flambe him because he had a couple of drops.
It's a big word right there.
You're welcome. You ever had a flambe? It's where they set it on fire.
No, I've
in
never
the
been to
pan
any
and-
place where
They did it in my buddy's wedding.
that's fire.
It was so sick. They like brought this whole thing out in front of the bride and groom's table, and it was sick. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. That's the Elk Grove Kia talk line. Would love to have you join the program. We talked a little bit of A's. We've talked some Niners. Did they need to make any major trades? And right now, who are the contenders, the Super Bowl contenders in the NFL? I say yes on Minnesota. Jesse says no. Fringe contenders. You have Philly.
Yeah, Philly's
in
in
the
there.
NFC.
We can throw Minnesota in there.
Okay, you have Minnesota in the fringe. Okay.
Then that's where Green Bay falls.
Green Bay. Okay.
Do we want to let Tampa Bay into the club here? That Broncos game kind of.
Yeah, because
Because they're not good luck in 2025. That's the last category. They're not there yet.
Yep.
So I throw the Bucks in there.
Okay. Saints.
Ooh, the Saints,
Okay.
Seahawks. You're 3-0. I don't know what you're doing here, but you can come hang out.
Seahawks get to hang out.
Yeah. How are you doing this? Atlanta, you're in here.
I should have gone one more tier.
Yeah, because we got to throw them on here. Washington is in here as well.
Fringe contenders. Let's do possible playoffs is the 4th tier.
Okay. Well, hold on. I want to do some because if we're seeing 2025, good luck in 2025.
Okay,
Dallas.
who are we kicking out? Who is no longer a factor this year in the NFL?
Dallas Get the hell out.
You're kicking Dallas out.
Dallas, get out. You're gross.
You're
gross.
evicting Dallas
Dallas,
from the conversation.
You're gross right now. You're gross, Dallas. Go.
Wow.
Sell me on the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Nah.
Sell me
Don't
on.
want to.
Come
Don't want
on.
to.
Tell me that
Don't want
Ezekiel
to.
Elliott's going to turn it around and Zeke's back and we're back. And then Brandon Cooks is still that guy.
It's literally like, hey, they have Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb and Dak.
You have a good core for your future. Sell me on that. I'll buy that.
It's a good core for 2025.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who else are we kicking out?
Soren threw him in there, I guess. We can get Miami out of there for right now.
Yeah, Miami's gone. The New York Giants are gone too while we're in the NFC East.
Cincinnati as well. You're out.
The Bengals are gone?
Gone. Don't do that either. Like it's some crazy thing. It's not. I'm being logical and right. They lost to the Patriots.
Okay,
they lost to
the weird stuff happens in week one. Weird stuff happens in week one.
They lost at home in a game you probably not needed to win, but would have liked to win against the Commanders.
They took Kansas City down to the last drive. Okay, here's their upcoming schedule.
It's not a close race if you're in second place the entire time.
At Carolina. Okay.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'll give you that win.
Home Baltimore.
Might be a loss.
We sure?
Yeah.
Baltimore doesn't look great.
Cincinnati, they look better than Baltimore.
Home Baltimore.
Cincinnati's look worse than Baltimore.
Home Baltimore. At Giants, at Cleveland.
Giants, cool.
You could
Cleveland,
be looking at 4-3 heading into week 8.
And you can be looking at 1-6 or 2-5.
No, but that's just I'm not kicking them out yet. They're not. I can't in good conscience kick out the Bengals.
I can. You know what it is? Let go of the Super Bowl. We all need to let go of the Super Bowl. That was great, but it's just not the same team anymore.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
Like we're just Zach Moss is that dude now?
Might be.
No.
Chase Brown's kind of nice.
See, stop. That's that fantasy stuff you guys are listening to. They're not. That's not going to win us ball games here. It's not good enough.
We'll put a pin in this.
We're not even going to pay Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. Let Jesse Bates go because we were going to pay somebody, but
we'll keep kicking out teams next. And where do the Kings land in ESPN's NBA Future Power Rankings? We'll have that for you as well. Jesse Tapia in for James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We're the producers on the Insiders today, sponsored by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320. It's Sacramento Sports Center.
Buddha, I want to fight you on this comment, like saying that no, not fight, but just like go against it. But it's just, dude, I could be playing quarterback for the Dolphins this day, so you might be right. The Patriots might win. I'm back to my whole. All right, I'll just be here every week, and hopefully we win with them. John Paul, I try to catch myself sometimes too.
Hey, man. It's going to be so fire when Mike McDaniel's coaching Joe Burrow.
Dolphins are training for Joe Burrow?
Zach Taylor. I'm out on Zach Taylor.
We can go to the Bengals and be like, hey, Joe Burrow's wrist just doesn't work. Tua can't stay on the field. Maybe it'll work in Cincinnati and he'll work over here in Miami. Let's just swap. Like Russell Westbrook for John Wall. Let's do that.
Wasn't glazing Cincy. Jesus.
Low key.
No.
Yeah, you're like, oh, they look great. They can hang out still.
I didn't say they were.
No, low key. We're hanging out downtown.
We are kicking teams out of the league.
We're hanging out downtown right now, and nobody likes Cincy, but that's Kyle's boy, so we're gonna let him hang out for a bit. All right, like that's your friend. Like, cool, whatever then.
I didn't say let's make them a playoff team. They have a lot of good players. Maybe they stink.
Buddha, they were talking about the Dolphins winning divisions, maybe eventually being Super Bowl contenders, and now I saw
if Cincinnati happens to make the playoffs, I'm gonna stand outside your window in a Joe Burrow jersey, being obnoxious.
All right, well, I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, Buddha, like, dude, we were talking about us being Super Bowl contenders at one point, maybe eventually, and now it's just Fox's power rankings were 28th. Now we're just back in the dumps again. It's tough. Man, you guys got to get that guy out of there fast. I hope so, Polo, but I'm not holding my breath. going from Cliff Kingsbury to Luke Getsy in the offseason was one of the all-time just
Oof. I like the chatty house so much. I like you guys so much.
Chatty House just makes it all fun.
It's absolutely.
I'm gonna defend Casey here. Like there was reasons where you could like talk about the Bills potentially missing the playoffs. It wasn't the craziest thing.
Yeah.
It's just Josh Allen just turned it up another notch.
Yeah. Which was
we were wrong, but you could make the argument.
Well, that was and that was the whole thing is can Josh Allen level up? Can he take another step without all of these weapons? And he has. Like, all right, well. I also think Sean McDermott's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I've been kind of fighting that, but the results matter. I mean, playoffs are playoffs, but Purdy's great, but I think if we're not including Burrow anymore, it's Lamar, Allen, and Mahomes in no order. But those are the three like true elite of the elite quarterbacks, I think. But I think Purdy's top 10 too.
Hey, that A's hat that said ass is so funny.
Yeah, that was solid. They were photoshopping that on John Fisher's head.
In my headcanon.
Oh, hold on. I got my dad in the chat right now saying I should become a Bills fan because I'm a quitter. He gave me crap for picking the Seahawks last week. What happened, Pop? What happened? I'm not a quitter. I just know my guys. I'm hurt.
That's what like Damien was talking about it yesterday. Like I'm a very like pessimistic sports fan.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there every time.
But bro, I'm watching till the very end.
Exactly.
I'm watching every game. I'm there. I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah,
but I'm tapped in.
I don't feel good about this, but it's like, hey, if this is what we're doing, Let's go. Just it is what it is. Let's be a sports fan.
You gonna bet on the Dolphins right now?
Am I gonna bet on the Dolphins?
Just if somebody's like your dad, he's calling you a quitter.
Yeah.
Your dad want to bet on the Dolphins?
He would.
What a real one.
Hey, we're all loyalty in the top of your house, bro.
Here we go. Hour number 2, Jesse Tapia in for James Ham. I'm Kyle Madsen. We are sponsored by Jiffy Lube, taking you up to noon. Then we'll hand it off to D'Lo and KC. Having a lot of fun talking about who can win the Super Bowl in the NFL, trying to divide the teams into tiers. So to make this a little bit easier, we're kicking teams out of the league.
It's always so much more fun kicking teams out of the league. Like
I totally agree. Yeah. I totally agree. Okay, so you've launched Dallas.
Yeah.
The New York Football Giants.
Yes.
The Miami Football Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. But hey.
You're quitting on the Dolphins.
Go clean yourselves up and come back. I'll see you in 4 weeks. Away. I'll see you in 4 weeks. Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals. You were kicking out the club.
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting disorganized now, so I'm going to start going by division.
Okay.
New England.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
The Niners are not good right now, and they're favored by 10.5 over New England.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
Oh. Cleveland?
Yeah, they're done.
Deshaun Watson stinks.
Exactly. I'm out.
If Deshaun Watson didn't have his contract, he'd be on the bench. That's going
to end up being the worst contract of all
time. AFC South.
AFC South, where the Texans are legit contenders.
Everyone else gone? You have the Colts, Titans, and Jacksonville.
I can't call the Colts fridge contenders. Like I said, we needed another category or whatever.
I got possible playoff team. It's going to be our fourth playoff. It's going to be our fourth.
All right, I got to kick it for the sake of I kick the Bengals. I think I got to kick the Colts out. Like it's just the game is the game.
Can I make the case for the Colts?
Yeah, please.
Can I make the case for the Colts without getting dragged for it?
Yeah, go ahead. I would like to keep the Colts around.
Yeah, you try and do some radio and have a discussion.
Well, like the Bengals was crazy.
Shout out to the chatty house at youtube.com/ESPN1320.
I want to believe in the Colts because I like Anthony Richardson, but it's just
that's the case. Anthony Richardson stinks right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in that Trey Lance vein of this guy just hasn't played a ton of football.
Yeah.
And he's getting to play football. And is he just not good? Maybe. Like that could definitely be the case. But there's also, I think, a world where after 6 or 7 starts, the light kind of comes on.
Yeah.
And Indianapolis is just really hard to stop offensively.
You know what? I got it. This is a 21 and over club. Indianapolis, you're 20. Come see us at your 21st birthday. All right, then you're good. You're good. Come see us when you're 21, pal.
So we're not kicking him out?
Nah, you just can't hang out. You're not old enough yet.
All right, we're kicking him out. Get him out of here.
All right. How about this one?
And
Loki?
then Tennessee and Jacksonville gone.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel so good about that. That feels so nice to do that.
Yeah. Will Levis just.
He stinks.
Yeah. Go ahead and take
He
the Greyhound
stinks.
to some other town
Yep.
and start a new life or something.
Yep. Chargers?
You can hang out, Chargers.
Chargers are
Yeah, you can hang out.
Chargers are here.
You got
for
some
sure.
respect.
If Justin Herbert's injury is long term,
Then you're done.
get him out.
Yeah.
There was a scuffle with the Chargers. There's a little scuffle, little pushing and shoving. The Chargers may or may not have been at fault. They're talking to some people.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
The Chargers are standing over there at the end of the bar. They're pacing around. They're huffing and puffing. Got to figure out if they started it or not.
Yeah.
They can stay for now, though. Denver?
Denver, you're out.
Denver can be launched directly to the moon.
Yeah.
And the Raiders?
All right. I'm tired of you guys getting in fights at the club. You can still hang out. All right. You can still hang out. But I'm tired of you guys fighting all the time. I'm not talking about fridge contenders, but as far as the possible playoff team. Like, you can still hang out, but you're always causing trouble.
Double team.
I'm always vouching for you.
They're out of here.
No, I'm always vouching for them. They're always making me look bad.
They spilled their own drink. And then
they're drinking other people's drinks too.
That game against the Panthers, you can't have that happen. You can't spill your drink, vomit all over yourself and the other patrons, then not pay your bar tab.
I can't.
You're taking up a bathroom stall because you passed out.
But that's my boy.
Okay, I want to play out this scenario since we're following logic. All right. Here's Jesse Tapia logic.
Yes.
All right.
Ooh, I'm crying laughing for that one.
One of these two teams is going to make the NFL postseason.
Yes.
You'll see them on Wild Card Weekend on the road in that Saturday 10 a.m. slot.
Yeah.
Okay. The Cincinnati Bengals or the Las Vegas Raiders?
Give me the Raiders, bro.
Stop!
Give me the Raiders. They beat the Ravens. At least I have something to go off of. I'm telling you, we're holding on to the Super Bowl for the Bengals.
All right.
We are.
The Raiders
Let it go.
The Raiders can be a possible playoff team.
They can.
Okay.
Well, dude, they were 8-9 last year. You're not going to tell me they had some like Panthers like losses last year. Like, they're always going to be around. I don't think the Bengals can catch the Ravens or the Steelers. But I think I can convince myself, hey, the Ravens or the Raiders might be 8-9, 9-8,
the Bengals
in the mix.
If the Bengals beat the Panthers next week,
yeah,
and Baltimore loses to really, this is what we're doing. And Baltimore loses to sick. My schedule's not going to pop up. That's fine.
Oh,
and
no
Baltimore
worries,
loses their game.
Yeah.
Cincinnati will have caught Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm thinking longer term. All right. I believe in the Ravens more than I do in the Bengals.
Okay. And you believe in the
Raiders.
Raiders.
All right, so let's talk about sell me on the Bengals then. You like their defense?
I think Lou Anarumo is a good defensive coordinator. I think they'll figure it out.
Do you think they'll figure the defense out?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, we're good on Joe
T.
Burrow.
Higgins is back. Jamar Chase is back. I would not, to be clear here, I wouldn't, if you said, hey, you have to bet $1,000 on the Bengals to make the playoffs or not, I wouldn't bet yes because they're 0-3.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't bet yes on the Raiders.
If I had to pick between the two, we're talking about possible.
My logic is if you're kicking the Bengals out, I think that you also have to kick the Raiders.
But they beat the Ravens.
Okay. That's fine.
I get the Panthers lost, but they do that every year. They're going to be around.
That's fine.
I think they'll be around.
Okay.
I think I'll be right.
Whatever, man.
All right, you take the Bengals this year. I'll take the Raiders. We'll see where we are at the end of the year.
Bet.
Okay.
All right. Lunch on the loser.
That works.
I'm so excited to be dialed into Bengals football.
Don't let me.
I
just put my bet down on the team who I don't even know if he's gonna be our quarterback next week.
Hey, right now, I'm so indifferent. Not indifferent. Right now, I'm like, yeah, Joe Burrow's good.
Yeah.
The Bengals lose this bet for me. I'm ready to send Joe Burrow to the CFL, dog.
And if the Raiders win this one for me, oh, we're looking good.
All right, let's move to the NFC. The Giants are gone. Dallas is gone. We're already there. Chicago.
You're 20 years old too. Come talk to me next year.
Yeah.
I see the vision. I don't like Matt Eberflus though.
Matt Eberflus stinks,
that's when
dude.
I don't like your friend. You can't come in here.
That's Chicago to me. That's their biggest issue right now.
I see the vision with Caleb. I think Caleb Williams has talent and all that, but it's just Matt Eberflus. You can't sell me all that.
Kevin O'Connell, awesome coach. Dan Campbell, awesome coach. Matt LaFleur, awesome coach. Matt Eberflus,
yeah,
that's tough in a division to have
you
by far the worst coach.
Having the number 1 pick, you should have moved on from him this year. Because I think any coach.
And then they hired Shane Waldron, who's not a good offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Jackson Smith and Jigba said about Shane Waldron?
I did not.
He got asked about him on a live television thing. He got asked like, "Hey, can you tell Bears fans what they're going to get with Shane Waldron?" He's kind of quiet for a second, and he goes, "Are we live?" That was the first thing he said because he didn't have anything nice to say about Shane Waldron.
Damn,
that's tough. And Matt Eberflus hired him.
Yeah.
No, Bears.
The Bears.
Get out the.
I want to believe in the Bears. I feel like I've tried to believe in the Bears since Mitchell Trubisky and all that, but it's just they put the little blocks in front of them. I feel like Matt Eberflus probably shouldn't be coaching the Bears right now.
I'm with you. I'm right there with you. New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Atlanta.
They're fringe. They could be a playoff team, I think. I liked, even though they lost against the Chiefs, I like that game from them. You clean up some play calls here and there. I could see it.
I have to keep Atlanta in the mix. If my argument is that Cincinnati's in the mix, then Atlanta has to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Just a lot of good players there. I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to win you a Super Bowl, but I think he can get you to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Carolina.
What are you?
They beat the Raiders, who beat the Ravens.
Yeah, but
Andy Dalton.
Carolina is
they stink.
The 2 kids in the old movie in the trench coat trying to sneak in or whatever, like standing on top of each other's shoulders.
Carolina.
You really think I'm going to buy that?
Carolina found Andy Dalton, who's 37 years old, and they're trying to get him to buy him booze.
Yeah,
they can't get in the clubs. They're like, "Hey, can you get us some? Can you get us a 40?"
Yeah, no, I'm not selling this to you guys.
Seattle, Arizona. Arizona could be a playoff team, man. Yeah, I'm buying into Arizona. I think Jonathan Gannon might be a good coach.
He's kind of turning that narrative around too, because I feel like people were not in on him at first.
Yeah, but remember all the awkward ass videos of him?
Yeah,
he's talking to Rondale Moore. And he's like, "Hey, explosives, pew pew pew."
Maybe he's just a dork. I don't know.
he's a huge dork, but apparently he's good at football. Yeah, coaching football. The Rams.
Yeah, you can hang out.
The Rams can hang out because if the Niners are getting to hang out, or if the Niners are going to be a Super Bowl contender, because hey, if they get healthy, then I think the Rams are in the same boat.
We could trust the Rams too. They're always well coached. Awesome. Yeah, they're just always just ready to go.
The Rams are going to have a plan for whatever their personnel is.
Yeah.
And that's going back to what we were talking about with the Niners, just to loop them back in here. What Sean McVay does personnel-wise, where he will change things up and do something different, I would love to see the 49ers adopt that right now defensively.
Is Sean McVay the NFC's Mike Tomlin? No matter what.
Please explain.
No matter what, they're always going to be pretty competitive. And I know Sean McVay, they had a couple down years, I think, but more times than not, like they're just always going to be ready to go.
Yeah.
It might not be it. I'm just throwing that out there right now. I could be wrong.
I think from a standpoint of no matter what, I don't think it's apples to apples necessarily, but I think from the standpoint of, I think the Rams are always just going to kind of be hard to beat.
Yeah. And that's how I see the Steelers too.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Do we have anyone else?
No. So we've kicked out Dallas, the Giants, Miami, Cincinnati, New England, Cleveland, Colts, Titans, Jaguars, Broncos, Bears, and Panthers.
Are there any teams that I kicked out that you could see working their way back in?
Aside from Cincinnati?
Yes.
Man.
Maybe Cincinnati is that one. Like Dallas.
If Dallas had a better coach, it'd be one thing. But I've been out on Mike McCarthy as a head football coach for a long time.
You think he's a bad coach, or he's just when he gets to the playoffs, it's like there's just guys clearly better than him?
Both, frankly.
Okay.
Um,
Because it's like, how could you expect them to? Do you think they have a good roster?
I think they have
an NFC East like division winning roster.
maybe. I don't know their full 53, but
Yeah,
when you have Dak Prescott at quarterback, who's a top 10 or 12 guy,
it's a point right there too. I mean, yeah,
CeeDee Lamb,
Dak, you not fair, but you're low key paid. Like no matter what, you gotta get these guys to the playoffs.
Yeah, Micah Parsons still there. Yeah, the Cowboys have the Giants coming up, then they're at the Steelers, and they're home Lions. If they go 2-1 in that stretch and go into their bye week at 3-3, and let's say they beat the Lions,
because that's another team.
I think you'd feel better about them.
Yeah, that's another team too. Like the 49ers is kind of like their defense is. You're not sure if it's going to really be great this season. That's something they've kind of hung their hat on the past few years.
Yeah. I guess if I'm picking one, Dallas, just because I think they have the best players out of that group. But again, I wouldn't bet.
Philly doesn't look great necessarily in the NFC East right now either. Like they've won games, but it's just kind of like, all right.
Yeah, Philly's a weird team.
I think they're winning in spite of their coach.
Philly is
and
like
Jalen Hurts just does not look great.
Yeah. What does Nick Sirianni do?
Hey, do we know the defensive coordinator? Are you good? All right, great. Offensive coordinator, you good? Great. All right.
You guys need anything? Ask Big Dom.
Right, yeah, meeting at 11:30. All right, offensive coordinator, you want to come speak to the team?
You think that's it?
That's not it, but
the lasting image of Nick Sirianni for me is when he was like mean mugging the camera and like hella nodding, and then they went and lost the Super Bowl and nothing was the same.
He's kind of Ed Hockey too, like bro, like you don't have to wear shirts that are that small. Like we get it, you have muscles, like throw on a shirt that fits, bro. Like stop doing it. He does a lot of stuff for the camera. I feel.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Like Nick Sirianni's bought his own hype.
I'm out on Nick Sirianni.
That's me as well.
Because of it, I'm out on
Nick Sirianni. You're kicked out the club. The rest of the Eagles, you can hang out.
Yeah, the Eagles to me, I've got Eagles as fringe contenders. Minnesota's a fringe contender. Green Bay's a fringe contender. Tampa Bay and New Orleans go in the possible playoff team to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Tampa Bay was all bought in. They lost that home to the Broncos.
Yeah, it was bad. That was not good. What?
Siri was talking to me about Minnesota right now. I was confused.
Oh, okay, what did she have to say?
Just state boring stuff, you know.
Okay.
They got them all.
All right, very good. The Chiefs, Bills, Texans, Lions, 49ers are the teams that can win the Super Bowl. I have the Vikings in there.
That's okay. Like I said,
We'll do this exercise again some point halfway through the year.
Yeah.
We'll just do this a few times. We'll get you in here and we'll.
Yeah, that sounds good. The Vikings, I get it, but it's just for me, it's just still too early.
All right. I want to shift gears real quick to basketball here on the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube. Jesse Tapia in for James Ham today. So ESPN put out their future power rankings. And what this is it is 5 categories. There's players, which is worth 58.3% of the score. So everything's weighted a little differently. Management, which is quality and stability of the front office, ownership, and coaching. Money, which is projected salary cap situation, ability and willingness to exceed cap and pay luxury tax. Market, which is appeal to future acquisitions based on team quality, franchise reputation, city's desirability, et cetera, et cetera. And then draft capital, future draft picks and draft positioning. Again, this is according to ESPN. Last season, your Sacramento Kings landed at number 11 in these rankings. This year, after adding 6-time All-Star DeMar DeRozan, re-signing 6th man of the year Malik Monk, in my headcanon, he was 6th man of the year.
The way I say it, if he played for the Lakers, he'd have 2 6th man of the year awards.
Facts. That's a great, yes. 2-time 6th man of the year winner Malik Monk. And they gave Mike Brown an extension through the 2026-2027 season.
Uh-huh.
The Sacramento Kings and the ESPN NBA Future Power Rankings.
We got a drum roll?
Which projects out, we do have a drum roll.
Oh, nice.
Which projects out the next 3 years. So it's 2024.
All right, that was my question too.
2020, the 2024-25 season, 25-26, and the 26-27 seasons. Last year, 11. This year, your Sacramento Kings rank in the ESPN NBA Future Power Rankings, number 18.
That's tough, Kyle.
They dropped 7 spots.
I don't like that. If we're going over the next 3 years, I don't like that because Fox is in his prime. Domantas Sabonis is right in his prime. DeMar DeRozan's supposed to be here for a few years or whatnot. Keegan Murray's young. I don't.
So
if it's over the next 3 years, I don't like that.
They said all the stuff the Kings did. DeRozan, Monk, extending Mike Brown. They dropped. Thanks. This is via Bobby Marks.
Shut up, Bobby, friend of D-Lo and Casey.
They fell 7 spots in this edition of the Power Rankings, thanks primarily to a drop from number 14 to number 20 in the draft category. The Kings still owe Atlanta a 2025 top 12 protected first rounder from the Kevin Huerter trade, and Sacramento sent San Antonio the right to swap first in 2031 as part of the DeRozan trade. The Kings have no second round picks available to trade in the next 3 years. I have a question.
What's your question?
If the future power rankings are about the next 3 years, then why does the 2031 pick swap matter?
How honestly, that has been the question of the offseason. Not can the Kings re-sign Malik Monk. That was all done and over with. Not could they give Mike Brown a contract extension. Not could they get DeMar DeRozan. The hell is going to happen in 2031? And I don't get it.
Bro, 2031 is so long ago. Do you know how long 2031 is from now? Rewind to 2017. That's the same distance from now. That's Kyle Shanahan's first year as a 49ers head coach.
Yeah, that was like my second year at Sac State.
That's 7 years. What were you doing 7 years ago?
I don't even remember.
Right?
Probably trying to get myself to go back to class.
That's trying to wake up.
Yeah.
It was about 11:21. Yeah, alarm's going off.
Yeah,
look, man.
I feel like they're using that line just to use it at this point. Like, oh yeah, 2031. Like, what is it about that pick? The number one prospect for that draft is eating a grilled cheese at middle school right now. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter?
Eating a grilled cheese is crazy.
Yes. All right. He's drinking the milk and the grilled cheese. Like, it's fine. Leave him be. We're talking the next 3 years. Like, we don't need to talk about 2031.
The Kings ranked number 16 in the player category. Number 16. So middle of the league. 15th in management. 16th in money. So again, middle of the league for all three. 22nd in market. And then 20th in draft. Which is, again, draft positioning and future draft picks.
Yeah.
What this says to me is that this kind of confirms where I think the Kings are at heading into this year. Where, for me, I think they're still in a spot where they've undoubtedly taken a step up from where they were last year. We asked them to make improvements to the roster this offseason. They did that for sure. DeMar DeRozan was an excellent trade. And I think they've upgraded. You bring back Malik Monk, like, yes, great job. I'm of the mind that they are in the 50-win kind of range.
Okay.
I saw a thing from True Hoop that had the Kings at 46 and 36. Like, that's nuts. The only way that happens to me is if there's pretty severe injury problems. But anyways, I think they're in the 50-win range. The issue, I think, is that might be kind of their ceiling with the current group. And while 50 wins is awesome, I think that to get to that next like championship, if we're doing the tiers we just did, definite contender, fringe contender, right now it feels like they're fringe.
Yeah.
To get to that definite contender, to me, unless Keegan Murray takes some massive leap, which is on the table for sure. Like, don't get it twisted. Maybe it's Keon Ellis, actually, that takes some kind of massive leap as a player and winds up being this boon that the Kings didn't know they were going to have. Maybe DeMar DeRozan's presence unlocks something in De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis or Keegan Murray or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they just and maybe instead of 50, they're 55, 56, 57 wins. And it's like, holy crap, they really took off. That's on the table, no doubt. But I think what this kind of displays from ESPN here is kind of what I think is, I think they need one more big move. I think there's going to be some kind of shakeup that needs to happen if they're going to go from fringe contender, which is where I think they are right now. That's a really good spot to be in, to that definite contender range. I think it's going to mean another huge move.
All right, I disagree. Yeah, I disagrue with that.
Why?
I think they have everything they need. If you're gonna make a move, it's got to be because you need another big man or something like that. But no big shakeup. It's Keegan Murray time now. Like if
Okay,
that's
yeah.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
I think like in looking at the rankings, I don't even think for this you need to put the Kings top 5, top 7 or whatever. But 18th, I think over the next 3 years, I think that's a little crazy.
Yeah,
And I think it's something where like De'Aaron Fox, like I said, it's in his prime. Like De'Aaron Fox being an All NBA player, Sabonis being an All NBA player of the season, like that's what kind of elevates you. Keegan Murray taking the next step. DeMar DeRozan being there when the 3 ball's not falling or whatever, and you need someone to create a shot. Like I don't get the management part being so low too. Just given Malik Monk did have, I think, a larger offer out there. For like there was a market for Malik Monk, but you still kept him here. You gave Mike Brown his contract extension, and you got DeMar 24 point per game score here. Like I don't get that either. I think you don't have to put him top 5 or whatever, but 18th as far as these rankings is a little wild. I think for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I would love to sit down and talk to the people who voted on this, and players landing at 16.
Yeah, I don't.
Man, like okay,
Sabonis, if we're going off all NBA, he's a top 15 player. Like Fox is right around
Fox,
there.
fringe All NBA guy. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan, excellent player. But I'm with you. That's where everything kind of hinges for me is Keegan Murray. Because if you go out and Keegan Murray this year is ostensibly the player he was last year. I think you're looking at the scenario I just laid out where it's like, man, they've hit a little bit of a ceiling.
Yeah.
Because you've got, where are we at? Keegan, where are you? Why can't I find his basketball reference page? There it is. You had Keegan last year, 15 points, 5.5 boards, 1.7 assists. His 3-point percentage dropped from 41.1% to 35.8%.
We'll probably see that go back up.
I think you see that tick up a little bit. I don't think he goes 41% again, but I think you see him in the 38, 39% range. He's a really, really excellent shooter. And maybe just that jump gets him to 20 plus points, and maybe he starts creating a little bit more for himself, and we're going, holy crap, like what a two-way player. And that's kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is if that happens, then okay, then Keegan's the guy that this shakeup that I'm saying needs to happen, then that was it. But if you're going to get just the exact same, if Keegan's again around 15 points, shooting around 36% from 3, going to go grab you 5 or 6 boards, that's where it's hard to ask Domas to do more. Could he shoot a couple more threes a game or shoot a couple more jumpers a game? Like, yeah, for sure. But asking him to fundamentally be like, hey, we need 26 points a night now, by the way, and we need 15 rebounds a game and 12 assists a game. Like, that's just, maybe he gets there. Maybe something crazy happens, but that's unrealistic to ask.
Because we talk about it too. Like, if they were to make a big move, it's like, you're not trading DeMar, you're not trading Sabonis and Fox. Monk is here. It's like, you're not going to trade. There's no room for that move to be made.
We got to hit a break. We'll continue this discussion coming up next on the Insiders. Jesse Tapia in for James Ham. We're sponsored by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320, Sacramento Sports Center. Probably should have just taken that to 42, but whatever. Hey. What? Oh. Ooh. Oh my God. The local Facebook pages are the funniest Facebook pages.
What are they like? I've never had Facebook before.
It's just imagine every single. So let's say there's one in what part of Sacramento do you live in?
The Thomas.
So like the Natomas area Facebook page
Yeah.
would be like if every person in Natomas who asked to speak to a manager was posting about their grievances with Natomas.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Dude, it is hilarious. It is.
It's just-
I never comment. I never. Every once in a while, I'll like somebody's comment.
Mhm.
Mostly to entertain myself. People say the wildest shit.
I'll never be a complaint to the manager person. I don't think.
It takes so, dude.
If it's absolutely needed, then you have to. But it's just like I don't know. And then taking that to Facebook is wild.
Have you ever? Are you familiar with John Mulaney? A stand-up comedian.
Yeah, it's a name I know. I've heard.
He has this joke about how before he had a girlfriend, people could just do anything to him and he wouldn't say anything. Bless you. My God, let me talk.
Sneezes are getting me.
No, but he was like, before I had a girlfriend, you could do anything to me and I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of how, and that's still how I am. I'm trying to get better about this because I used to be like, if I ordered caramel iced coffee, splash of almond milk, that's like my order, right?
Mhm.
At Starbucks. If they gave me like a hot coffee with heavy cream, I'd be like, all right, I guess I'm drinking a hot coffee with heavy cream now.
All right, yeah, see, I'd send that back.
That was just, I do now.
Yeah.
I go, hey, but I'm always, I didn't do anything wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm always like, hey, I'm so sorry. This is super not what I ordered.
Yeah.
Like, I like, it takes a lot. I've never asked for a manager ever. It takes so much for me to like even send food back or like, as long as what I got,
Mhm.
as long as I'm not getting charged, if I ordered I wouldn't do this, but if I ordered an $80 prime rib and I get $12 shrimp tempura, like, all right, well, as long as I'm only getting charged for the shrimp tempura, I'll just eat this.
Yeah.
Like, this is fire. I'll still eat it. It's not what I ordered. That's just, it
Yeah.
takes so much for me to be like, hey, it has to be like, I'm not touching this.
No, I got you. If you're gonna talk to someone, be nice to them too.
Dude.
Like you don't have to just be, oh, you gave me the wrong thing. Like you can like be cool about it.
I used to sit at Starbucks when I lived in Arizona and I first started writing. I would write at Starbucks all the time. I thought it was so cool. And the way people talk to baristas is fucking outrageous.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like chill out.
Like, dude, that's a 22-year-old trying to get through college.
Facts.
Like, relax.
Go get your coffee, bro. Just tell them, hey, you messed up my order. Can you fix
Yeah.
it, please? And
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
I asked for a latte, not a cappuccino. All right. This is just ridiculous. I've been waiting for 8 minutes.
All right,
Yeah, man.
All right, Lucy.
We all
what do
are.
you want? What do
We
you
all
want?
are.
Exactly.
The funniest is Wingstop. We'll get super backed up, right? And I was in there one night to pick up food. And I walked up and I was like, hey, is this ready? And the lady was like, nah, like we ain't got it.
Yeah.
You see all the people in there. The amount of people that walked in and were like, I have been waiting for 20 minutes. It's like, dog, everybody here's been sitting here for at least 40.
Not entitled to it, bro.
Like,
It's
not a
rush.
I've been
Oh,
all right.
I used to work fast food one time. I used to work at a Foster's Freeze. Are we coming back right now?
10 seconds.
Oh, well, yeah, I can save it for after show.
We can talk about it right now. Here we go.
I think I take down 3 glizzies.
Now, back to the Insiders with James Ham and Kyle Madsen, brought to you by Jiffy Lube on ESPN 1320.
Shout out, Lizzie.
Shout out to Lizzie. We were having a conversation at the break, and if you want to hear what goes on during the break, come hang out with us at youtube.com/ESPN1320 and twitch.tv/ESPN1320. Like if you're listening in the car, you're on lunch for work. When you get back to work, throw the YouTube on.
Yeah,
Throw Twitch
it's a
on.
good time.
We're hanging out, and we don't go to break on the stream. We just hang out and chat. And we're talking about the need to be nice to food service workers.
Yeah, it started. We were talking about just kind of like talking to the manager, sending things back or whatever,
Yeah.
trying to be cool, and then it turned into being nice to the workers.
So you started to tell a story that I would like
Yeah.
to hear. You used to work at Foster's Freeze,
Yeah, I
which
used to work
sounds
at
like a very old-fashioned sentence.
Yeah. We used to work for my best friends, like with my best friend's parents or whatever. They owned it.
Sick.
Blah blah blah. Gave me a
Yeah.
little summer job, hooked me up, and all that.
Nepotism, sick, tight,
Yeah.
dude.
Hey, chill out, bro. I needed a job. But either way, yeah, no, we were talking about being rude to service workers or whatever, and just how people are just unreasonable and all that. Lady walks in, she's like, "Hey, blah blah blah. Can I get this combo? And I want waffle fries with my combo." I was like, "Oh, we don't do that. You have to get regular fries with your combo." And she's like, "Look at me." She's like, "Well, I want waffle fries." And she's just not getting it. Like, no, you can't do that, ma'am. And she's just yelling at me. She's like, "Oh, I want your manager." And shout out John or whatever. He comes out here. She's like, "Yeah, you can't do that." She's like, "I want waffle fries with my combo." And we're like, "Lady, we're telling you, no, you can't do that. Like, that's
like
not, that
the
doesn't, I can't even hit the button
We
for
don't
that."
have the button.
Yes, exactly.
And this isn't
And
you
like,
specific.
and it's just like people feeling so entitled to just like, oh, like, no, it's just all about me. I'm pro customer is not right. I
You
love the
can-
customer, but it's just not, the customer is not always right.
No, definitely not. If you want a certain thing, you can order that thing
Yes.
with the other thing separate.
This is how you will get this.
You just order a burger with waffle fries and a Coke.
Yes. And just, what are you yelling at me for?
And, I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
I'm not Mr. Foster.
Ma'am, I'm just trying to make money so I go to the movies with my friends later.
You're standing up worried about math homework right now?
Yeah. I got to deal with, like, what are you yelling at me for?
Yeah, man. I was saying I used to, when I first started writing, I would sit at a Starbucks all the time.
Mhm.
And the things you hear people say to Starbucks baristas
Yeah.
is so off the wall. Just bananas.
It's a wild world we live in.
One lady one time, her face is just burned into my memory. Like if I saw her right now, and this is 10 years ago, if she walked in right now, I'd be like, "That's her." Like her face is just, because she was the worst.
Yeah.
Just mean. She cursed at one point, and she did apologize. She's like, "I'm sorry for cursing. I'm just upset." Da, 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 da. And finally, everything gets resolved, whatever the heck was going on. And then she apologized and goes, "I just haven't had my coffee yet."
All right, bro.
Like, yo,
Can you imagine
That
getting in your
doesn't play.
car after
That-
that and just kind of sitting and be like thinking about what just happened?
right? Do you not feel foolish?
Yeah.
Anytime I get mad at somebody, I'm immediately like, you know what? I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
Even if I was in the right, I'm like, I'm a jerk. I hate that a lot. I'm gonna think about this the rest of the day. I gotta apologize to that person.
Yeah. Next time, just sit and think, hey, should I cause a scene over this?
It's
Should I maybe
coffee.
Or should I just ask nicely about it?
It's
And it's not even just coffee either. Everywhere, retail, whatever.
Wherever
Be
you're
nice.
at.
Be nice to the workers.
just be nice to people. They're trying to make a
Exactly.
buck, bro.
Yeah. I don't want to be here either.
You can ask for things for sure. That's why people are there to help you.
Mhm.
Just don't be a jerk about it.
Yes.
Especially, look, if a clothing store doesn't have your size in something, and the person goes and looks in the back for you,
Yeah. Come on. Like,
tip them
all right. Yeah.
because there's nothing in the back. I promise.
I don't know if you got to tip them, but
But
you can dap them
thank-
up.
Thank them profusely.
Yeah. Thank them. Yeah.
Do you know how many times when I worked at Sports Chalet, someone's like, well, "Could you check in the back?" Sure. I got here early this morning because I had to unload all the back stock and make sure it was on the floor.
That's where you just walk to the back,
Do-
open the door, close
hang
the
out,
door.
see the homie Nick.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 1. All right. Yeah, we don't have it.
Do a cursory, just to walk by in case I missed something, just a
Yeah.
cursory look. Nope, it's all out here. Man, be nice to people.
It's facts.
We were talking about the Kings and the fact that they fell 7 spots in ESPN's NBA Future Power Rankings. Everything about this year for the Kings and the jump from fringe contender, which is where you're in that, you're with me, right?
Yeah.
They're in the fringe contender class in the
I
NBA.
think they win at least 50 games this year. And I think if you
I'm
win at
with you
least
too.
50 games, then you can make
Yeah.
that argument.
Yep, I'm with you too. I'm also with you that every single thing that I think about this team hinges on Keegan Murray, because I don't think it's realistic to ask for more from Domas. Maybe you get more from Domas, and great. I don't think you can ask for that.
More from Domas as far as scoring? Or
Just-
like, what do you mean?
What do you need more from him?
No, yeah,
Like-
that's what I'm saying. Like, what would it be?
Would I love it if he all of a sudden had this offensive bag and he was scoring 28 a game? Like, yes.
Okay, yeah, like that's not just.
But
talking
very
about
clear, not his game, not what he's
Yeah,
going to do. He's going to contribute in all these other ways. So hinging, if the Kings' title hopes hinge on Domas being a 26+ point per game guy, I'm sorry.
it. Yeah, it's just not happening.
So it's not it. So very clearly, and Monty McNair and the coaching staff know that. and that's why they built the team that they built. I think De'Aaron Fox, you could ask for maybe a little more consistency when it comes to scoring the ball. But man, his 3-point shooting last year was awesome. I think he can sustain that. He's a fringe All-NBA guy. I don't think could he be a little better? Maybe, but asking for a leap from De'Aaron Fox, I think is probably asking too much. DeMar DeRozan is who DeMar DeRozan is. I think we know exactly what we're going to get from DeMar DeRozan.
I think he needs to be above 20 points per game this season, though.
Really?
Yes. I think that's what they've been missing, I feel. It's just another guy to go with De'Aaron Fox. He's just that second scorer with him. I feel like that's what DeMar, like, I think Will Z threw it in the chat, and I don't know if we're
love when Will Z throws stuff.
Shout out Will Z. He says he thinks the best case scenario is Domantas Sabonis points per game actually goes down this year. I think if Sabonis is maybe taking a couple less shots or whatever, or however it may work, I think like DeRozan needs to get his, I think, on this team. And not where it's like just kind of messing up the flow of the offense, but I do think you need a second 20-point per game score. And I think that's what he's here for.
Domas, his first year in Sacramento was 18.9. Last year, or 2 years ago, 19.1. Last year, 19.4. It might go down a little.
Yeah, because I just
with all the rebounds he's going to clean up. He's going to get to the free throw line. I think he's probably in that same range.
Yeah, because I don't think like DeMar DeRozan's not a guy you bring in. It's like, all right, DeMar, fall in line with the offense and get yours. Like DeMar DeRozan is still really good. Like let him go get a bucket and I'll let it in.
Yeah, and I think they will.
Yeah.
But obviously you have Malik Monk coming off the bench. Maybe his production goes down a little bit with DeMar DeRozan, but I don't think the effectiveness will necessarily go down.
Yeah.
Just kind of the overall. There's just more mouths to feed now, right?
You're a better team. You just have more better players, and you have to work around that now.
Yeah,
it's not. It literally comes down to, I think.
Statistical production does not necessarily mean players got worse.
Yeah.
Right. But if they're gonna make that leap, it's Keegan can't be 15 points tonight and shooting 36% for me.
Yeah.
There has to be
what do you think it needs to be at?
As I say, that statistical production doesn't mean necessarily you're good or bad. But on the other hand, I think there are going to be opportunities for Keegan. And I think, he needs to be really good defensively again. But I need to see his 3-point percentage tick back up towards 38, 39%. And I would like to see him create a little more when he gets those opportunities. Like when he gets to that little mid-range, he's so good from there. And maybe that's just the Kings' deal this year. Maybe they just have a couple of guys who are just De'Aaron. We know he's killer in the mid-range too. Maybe that's just going to be the move.
Yeah.
Teams are running him off the line. Great. Hey, here's an open 14-footer. Cash.
I think Keegan Murray is the type of player where you're always going to see something more from the year before. Like just always some little development or whatever. So I think I trust him to be what the Kings need this season. Especially with DeMar being there too, because it's kind of not fast-tracked anymore.
I still got to see it.
Yeah?
Yeah, like the perfect encapsulation of what I feel about Keegan Murray. And I've talked to D'Lo and KC about this a lot, and I've been talking about this, harping on this show a lot. The perfect encapsulation was the play-in tournament last year. He gets in against the Warriors and was excellent. I said, I need to see Keegan tonight. I need to see Keegan step into a bigger role and grab the bull by the horns, pick your favorite cliche, and be a dog. And he was freaking fantastic in that game.
Yeah.
And then against New Orleans, nowhere to be found. And that's that kind of up and down, and that's okay. He's in his second year. Those ups and downs are gonna happen, right? But at some point, like the downs have to become less frequent.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping to see.
He needs to be
that. You asked what I need to see. Just consistency.
I got you.
Get to 15 points a night or 17 points a night by being in the 15 to 21 point range.
Yeah.
Every night. And you're gonna have your blow up nights, and there's gonna be a couple of 6-8 points, whatever. But I'd like to see just a little more consistency from him.
No, I get that.
With his assertiveness, his aggressiveness, like you'll see it. Like you'll know it when you see it with him.
Does it make sense to say, like, I think it'll be kind of a lot easier on him now that he doesn't have the pressure to be the third guy for the Kings right now?
I don't know. Kind of
just get into the flow, like just play ball,
Yeah, maybe. But that's kind of the question I have with him. Basketball skills, I have no questions, especially with the leap he took defensively last year. He was sick. But I wonder, and this is something I don't know the answer to. Is it going to be, and this is, I guess, what I'm looking for this year, is it going to be oh, there's less pressure on me
Yeah.
and I can just go play ball? Or is it going to be, oh man, there's another ball handler here. I've got to take an even further back seat.
See, that's the thing that can't happen right there. That can't happen.
That's
and Mike Brown's got to tell him too.
I'm so happy Kenny's in here to join this conversation.
Mike Brown's got to tell him too, or whatever. Like DeMar's here, or whatever, but you can't take.
They will.
Back.
I know. I know that Mike Brown has said it in press conferences. Demonis Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. Everybody has been like, yeah, dude, we want Keegan to put the ball up. Everybody says that, and I'm sure they're going to be telling him like, hey, just because DeMar DeRozan's here, it doesn't mean that you have to take a further back seat. No doubt. But if I don't, again, I this is an unknown for me. This is a full blown. I am on the fence because we've never seen Keegan in this spot before. Yeah. He's also going into year 3 of his NBA career, so you got to believe he'll be at least a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when you ask what I want to see from Keegan, it's that.
I think the comforting thing about it is that we're asking him to do this in year 3 rather than like year 6 or year 7.
Yeah.
Like there's still yeah, you can still make the argument he could do it.
This is the Insider, sponsored by Jiffy Lube. Jesse Tapia filling in for James Ham today. It's time for the handoff. Kenny Caraway, D-Lo and KC fame, joining us now. We're talking about the Sacramento Kings and where they fell in the ESPN Future Power Rankings.
I heard you talking about that. Like I heard you tease it, but I didn't see exactly what
you didn't stick around for the payoff.
Well, I had to get out the car.
Power rankings over the next 3 years too.
Yeah, power rankings over the next 3 years. Kings fell 7 spots, number 18. And I can let you and D'Lo dig into that.
That's great. They fell from where they were last year.
Yeah, they fell 7 spots. So again, I don't want to debate the methodology. Whatever. We're talking specifically about Keegan Murray right now, though.
Okay.
And how Jesse and I both think that everything kind of hinges on him. Where if he flatlines as a player, and he's just like what he was last year, I think the Kings are going to need to make another significant move, because right now they're in the fringe contender tier. To get to the like bona fide contender tier, they either need a leap from Keegan or another big move. And my greatest concern with Keegan is not whether he's good at basketball. Like he's obviously very, very good at basketball. The concern for me is, does DeMar DeRozan's arrival allow Keegan to do what Jesse just said and like, hey, you know what? I can just hoop now. I don't have any pressure. I'm just out here to hoop. Or is it, oh, there's another guy who's going to put the ball in the hoop. I need to take a further back seat, which is a little bit my problem with him last year.
I would think, I came in on the tail end of that conversation, but I would think the conversation with Keegan between him and Mike Brown, between him and the other players would be, hey, continue to let it fly. Yeah. You should still be able to have an opportunity to get 11 to 13 shots a night. Absolutely. I remember when Monk went out, me and Kyle, we talked about this at length and routinely about, he needs to be 18 shots a night.
Yes.
That's with somebody out. You don't need to be 18 shots a night now. And I don't expect that. But 11 to 13 each night where you're, I don't know what the percentage would be, but you're getting 5 to 6 of those. You'd say you go 5 of 11. So you go, 6 of 13. I'm with that. The thing about it, though, is I don't, because DeMar is here now, DeMar DeRozan, I don't think there's as much pressure on Keegan Murray to develop and go to another level. I think if he's the Keegan Murray he was last year, I think that's good enough to get you clearly in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but win a round or two. I do. He was like I think
I don't disagree with that.
James Ham talked about it, I think, one time. I believe he said all his numbers were up except for the 3-point percentage.
Yeah, his 3-point percentage is way down.
Yeah, so like I want to see that.
I think that takes back
up to 40.
Yeah, I agree.
He's gonna get open looks and things of that nature. But if he has the same type of season that he had last year, where it wasn't like overly dominant, but he'd have these moments where he looked really good. I think because you have DeMar, I think that's okay. If they weren't able to make any moves in the offseason, you would need Keegan to elevate his game. But that kind of saved the need for him to jump to another level.
So they're already in the definite contender tier for you?
Fringe contender.
Yeah.
When you talk about contender, like I'm thinking like
And that's what
NBA
and that's just
finals.
and
Like I'm
that's
playing.
exactly it. Like,
Yeah.
are you a title contender?
Right.
And that's where that Keegan leap comes in for me.
Exactly.
I
If he does do that, then now we're talking.
That's right. Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I think right now, I think Jesse and I are on the same page here, right? 50-ish wins.
Yeah. I think at
50-ish
least
wins.
50 right now.
And then I think
I'm staying on the number, man. I said 52.
52 is
I ain't
high.
going.
Phil.
52 is a
That's
lot.
you're bold, man.
Hey, man. 52. You
I
heard it
love
here
that.
first.
That'd be such a fun year. I would take that.
If they get to
Absolutely.
52, they're low key like title contenders. I feel.
Yeah, if they win 52 games, a lot of stuff went really right.
Mhm.
That's what I'm banking on.
Of course. I would be so concerned if you walked in and you were like, I just don't think it's going to go well.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking 49 games this year, fellas. I don't know, 49 wins. I think
Because I'll let you know, man. I'll let you know when the vibes don't. I don't know, man. But I just think, they got a really good team, a really good roster, and I think people are kind of like underestimating it a little bit. I think once they get into the groove, I don't know if that's going to happen right off the bat, but once they get into the groove of what they want to do offensively, they're going to be tough to defend.
That would be the only thing to me that keeps them out of the 50-plus win range, is if they just really face plant out the gate because they are really struggling to figure out how the offense works, and maybe it takes a month for them to really hit their stride. That would be the only thing.
Yeah.
And injuries, obviously, but that's the case for every team.
Yep.
Keegan this year just to be consistent.
That's it.
I'm not trying to be rude, but he can't be like Harrison Barnes.
Be
who
rude.
Wasn't here today.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the case. I'd like to see him rebound a little bit more. Keegan, consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.5 a game last year.
Yeah, I want to see if you can get to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously Sabonis is, eating up a lot.
Go
of the
steal
boards.
some from him. He doesn't need 15 again. Go take a couple of those boards.
I do,
14 or
and
whatever
the
that
whole
was.
thing about it, like where it balances out, I do feel like Sabonis's numbers may dip just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting thing about that is like Sabonis, he doesn't I don't want to say he gets a lot of garbage points, but he gets offensive rebounds and
Yes.
off a pick and roll,
Yeah.
dump it down to him. It routinely isn't, hey, we got to get the ball to
Not getting his
Sabonis.
own shot.
It doesn't-
go
yeah, it's
one-on-one
not,
and all
this deep offensive bag.
Right. So because of that, his numbers might not dip. Like that's the crazy thing about it. Because I'm trying to, when I think about the offense being as good as I think they could be, I'm like, all right, well, who's gonna take away from this team? And I wanted to say Sabonis, but I don't think it's gonna be Sabonis because he's gonna get his scoring ability the same way. Maybe De'Aaron takes a little dip, maybe.
Yeah, we're just saying, like, if you might see statistical dips from Domas, maybe Malik's numbers come down a little bit, but that doesn't even necessarily mean they're less effective.
You think,
Go ahead.
you think DeMar's 20 points per game at least this season?
I got
think he
him at
needs to
around.
be.
I got him around 18, 19, and I only say that because of the roster, right?
Mhm.
Like he's not going to necessarily need to have
Yeah, I would
20,
agree.
21 a night. So I got him at a 18, 19, maybe 20, and like you said, Monk isn't 15 this year. He's maybe 13 or something like that.
I think the bigger deal is in big spots, having a player like DeMar DeRozan who is just elite at getting to his spot and getting a shot up. I think that's going to matter a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'll swing 2 or 3 games just by itself.
I agree.
And
I
what
was going to say, and the other thing real quick, just the regular season, being able to game plan for them, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult.
Last thing here, we got about a minute.
Okay.
I think an underrated thing with the Kings, and we can keep talking about this another time, but I think an underrated thing with the Kings is their continuity. That matters
Continuity.
that matters. That just matters a lot in the NBA.
Absolutely.
And they have their 4 of their top 5 guys have been together for what, 3 years now? Like that matters
Absolutely.
a lot, especially when there's all these moving pieces around the league and all these teams trying to like fit around a couple of stars. Having 4 guys who have been together for as long as Sabonis, Fox, Monk, and Keegan have, it matters a lot.
I'm sorry, I don't have a lot to say. I agree 100%. Like it's just
Hell
as
yeah.
simple as that.
Hell yeah.
Like,
I love when people agree with me.
Solid show. Solid show.
That's the best. What do you guys got coming up on D'Lo and Casey?
Man, we got more 49ers NFL stuff, power rankings going down today. Games 3 and 4 of the top 20 Kings games of the season.
Oh,
And college sports is it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly, bro.
talking about the UNLV quarterback
Yeah,
quitting.
it's getting ugly.
Yeah, it's a tough go.
Although
right.
Sac State looks like they're on their way.
Sac 12?
I'm convinced.
Sac 12?
I'm 100% convinced they're going FBS.
Let's go.
And it's going to be probably Mountain West, but it could be Pac-12.
Let's go. Kenny Caraway, Dulo, and KC coming up next. They're hanging out with you until 4 o'clock here on ESPN 1320. Jesse Tapia, great job today filling in for James Ham. We are the Insiders, sponsored by Jiffy Lube. We're back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Until then, drink water and be nice, people. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate you, Chatty House. See you guys tomorrow.
Later, Chatty House.